I wasn't planning on making a flat earth video, not anytime soon anyway, but some of them flat earthers are getting out of hand. I gotta give it to them though, they are one aggressive group of people. Before I made that first flat earth video, I watched at least 35 videos because I really wanted to believe. We've been lied to so much about everything, why wouldn't this be a lie too? But even after all those videos, it was just too many things that didn't make sense to the flat earth theory. You can't say I didn't try. So after I made that video, flat earthers sent me links to other videos with supposedly new evidence, but those too turned out to be the same evidence I seen in other videos. Now Facebook is a totally different monster. I have a Facebook friend that's a flat earther. I call him a Facebook friend because I never actually met him. But he DM'd me so many flat earth videos that I had to tell him that I wasn't watching anymore. They all say the same thing. At this time I was up to 45 flat earth videos I watched. I wasn't watching anymore. Now I'm going to tell you why that I say flat earthers are aggressive and Facebook is a totally different monster. For those of you that have Facebook accounts, you may be members of groups. Some of you like myself may be members of several groups of topics that you can relate to. You scrolling through a group trying to gain some information and knowledge, and then all of a sudden you see a topic, the earth is flat, and the page starts filling up with all kinds of flat earth memes. And just like that, the group turns into a flat earth versus globe earth group for anyone that entertains the thought. I admit, I do get caught up in some of the ones that goes on for a long time. Flat earthers are tough too. They infiltrate all kinds of group that has nothing to do with flat or globe earth and take all that punishment from group members and keep going. But this flat earth thing is huge. I mean to dangerous levels, because these are the people that's going to be running the world in the future, and they may start dismissing anything scientific if they're allowed to discredit NASA. NASA needs to be discredited, but not by them, because their leaders would teach future generations to believe what you see, not what can be scientifically proven, further dumbing down society. No offense to flat earthers. I don't know if it's the chemtrails they spray and mixed with the chemicals they're eating, but a lot of people accept it so freely. I have this friend at work that comes to me when he wants to talk about things that might make him sound crazy if he tells anyone else, because, you know, I'm the weird one. He came to me when he first heard about the Mandela effect last year. It took him months to finally believe it's true. Around that same time, he brought up the Illuminati and asked me if I thought they were real. Of course I told him yes. This too, it took months for him to believe. So about a month ago, he asked me have I heard about the reptilians. I laughed. He's so far behind, but way ahead of a lot of people, which is sad. I told him yes. He asked if I believed in them. Again, I said yes. He doesn't believe in them. He just wanted to know what I thought. I'm just glad he doesn't know I have a YouTube channel. Yet. So about a couple of weeks ago, he came to me and said that he just heard that the earth is flat. Of course he asked what I thought. You already know my answer. The next day, he came back to me and told me that he believes it. Wait, what? It took you months to believe the Mandela effect. It took you months to believe the Illuminati. You don't believe in reptilians at all, and you believe flat earth overnight? It was that damn book. He's telling me about the firmament. He already knows how I feel about religion. He still tries to get me to come back to Jesus. Why? What did he get out of it? I'm telling you, that book is a cursed amulet that puts spells on people. It takes away your ability to think. Remember, the Bible was written by preachers. You could call them prophets or whatever, they were preachers. And just as the preachers that are corrupt today, they were corrupt back then too. That's why your book said they were destroyed by fire and brimstone in the great flood. The Bible has changed because it was written over and over by these corrupt preachers, and they spin things to suit them and their agenda. If a preacher today, any preacher, tells you that God literally talked to them and they had the conversation recorded but they lost the recording, would you believe them? It would be kind of hard, wouldn't it?
We're flying home. As I was going home, the Lord, real quickly, he said, Jesse, do you like your plane? Now, you know, I thought that's an odd statement. I said, well, certainly, Lord. He said, do you really like it? And I thought, well, yes, Lord. Then he said this, so that's it? I didn't know how to handle that. And I went, what? He said, you're going to let your faith stagnate? And when he said that, that shocked me. I went, whoa, wait. I literally unbuckled my seatbelt, my plane. I stood up. My pilots looked at me and said, do you need something? I said, no, I'm talking to God right now. And he went back to flying.
You couldn't have done that on an airliner.
No, sir. No way.
Stand up and say, what'd you say, Lord?
No.
Okay, no, yeah. And the guy sitting over there saying, what the hell does he think he's doing?
You can't do that. You can't do that.
No. That's why we're on that airplane. We can talk to God.
These preachers hear God talk to them in their minds. That would mean God talks to you the same way. What makes them more special than you? Don't let the uniform and the cross fool you. These men tell you that God told them and you just believe it. Think about it. The Bible was written and rewritten at a time when people thought the earth was flat. Spells are real. All spells do the same thing. It takes away your ability to think. You ever been in love with someone so much that they could do no wrong? You're under a love spell. Everything they do would be the cutest thing, and some that you may find repulsive when someone else does it. They could rob a bank right in front of you and you might think it's sexy and call it their day job. Spells will make you dismiss proof even when the proof makes sense. They'll always rebuttal with, "We just don't believe it." Or they'll find ways to make their theory work against yours. I'm pretty sure they will find or create some loopholes around the ones I'm about to present to you. Spells can even make things right in front of your eyes invisible, because if a flat earther wasn't under a spell, they would see the problem with their dome theory right in front of their face. They also think the government is hiding the truth from them, but the government is allowing them to grow for some reason and they don't see it. They even have some celebrities endorsing and trying to expose the flat earth theory. Let me tell you something. If any time a celebrity is allowed to talk about something you think the government is hiding, you should automatically be suspicious. There's plenty of proof of celebrity name changes, lyrics in their songs change, scenes changed in movies, but none of them talking about the Mandela effect. You do have one or two that may indirectly hint to it, but not talk about it. Now Jim Carrey might, because he don't give a shit. If they do talk about it on TV, they making a joke about it, but they keeping that information suppressed. That's what the government do if they don't want you to find out something. If the government really didn't want you to find out about flat earth, I guarantee you those celebrities wouldn't be talking about it. Hell, they even allow you a Netflix documentary behind the curve. How do you want to keep it a secret if they're giving you all the platform you need? Have you seen the number of views and subscribers to Flat Earth channels on YouTube and Facebook? The latest video I watched was Flat Earth frontrunner Rob Skiba. This guy got mad followers. A lot of points he made I could debunk. He said one thing I thought was interesting was that hurricanes in the northern hemisphere spins opposite to the southern hemisphere. He had my attention till he said he believed the sun's draft, we'll call it, causes the hurricanes to spin in opposite directions. Then he lost me.
So maybe it's just the movement of these heavenly bodies going through the ether that are creating vortexes that just so happen to spin one way if you're on the inside of the circle and one way if you're on the outside. Either way, whatever's going on is affected by the equator. And maybe this is an easier way to visualize it. You see the sun moving along its happy path here, woohoo, is creating in its wake opposite rotating vortexes as it goes. You know, in the northern hemisphere, it's rotating counterclockwise, and the southern clockwise.
I guess the sun is passing each and every toilet that flushes. They flush in opposite directions too, for those that don't know. You're being used. I don't know what for yet, but they're waiting on your numbers to grow. And it's growing. I would be very suspicious. In my last Flat Earth video, I pointed out some logical reasons why the Earth is not flat. This would debunk other theories and may even point out things I haven't heard mentioned before that I guarantee some Flat Earthers will rethink their decision on the shape of the planet. But there are those that invested too much time, money, and reputation will have some kind of answer, and I would love to hear it. I'm begging you. Whenever I have questions about the nature of our reality, I just look to nature itself. And since nature always repeats itself, you can easily find answers to difficult questions if you know what you're looking for. You know how flat earthers keep saying that water seeks the level? That's not true at all. Water does not seek the level. It's forced to level because it's being pressed. Water without the influence of gravity collapses on itself by using its own center of gravity, which coincidentally takes the shape of a ball. Looks like little globes, doesn't it? Don't seem to be seeking level to me. Motion. The notion that we can't feel the speed of the earth could only mean that we're not moving. Flat earthers test this theory every day and totally unaware of it. You ever flown on a plane and had a cup of water on the tray table? Does the water level or does it fly out of the cup in your face? It stays in the cup because it's moving with the plane. You ever rode in a car with a smoker with the windows up? Does the smoke go to the back of the car or does it stay in your face no matter how fast you're moving? The smoke is moving with the car. Imagine being on the back of a school bus traveling 50 miles per hour and you smack a balloon to the front of the bus. The balloon would travel to the front of the bus. So in reality, the balloon is traveling faster than 50 miles per hour because it was already traveling at 50 miles per hour and you just gave it extra force. Now, from the front of the bus, you hit the balloon to the back. You will actually have to hit the balloon harder to match the speed of when you hit it to the front because you have to cancel out the 50 miles per hour that is already traveling. Flat Earthers says space doesn't exist and most of the NASA videos are photoshopped using wires and underwater videos. I agree that NASA is full of shit, so I try not to use their source as much as possible. But if space doesn't exist, how do you explain this? I'm pretty sure you can't do that underwater. Some flat earthers believe that the International Space Station is not real and that NASA is misusing government funds. I don't know what they're doing with that money, but the space station is real. It's just that some of those videos inside of it are not. Check out this video by Smarter Every Day from the last solar eclipse showing them catching it as it passes the sun.
20 seconds.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, transit.
Oh, it happened! I saw it! I totally saw it! Dude!
Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it.
It happened. I saw it in the monitor.
Go back to your recorder.
It happened.
You saw it.
I swear I saw it.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, transit.
Oh, it happened! I saw it! I totally saw it! Dude!
4, 3, 2, 1, transit.
There it was!
That is so awesome. Dude.
Yes!
The math worked.
This excitement from successfully getting the transit continued up to the point of the total eclipse, where I was so blown away.
The International Space Station is real. It's just that some of those videos they show are fake because they don't want you to know what they're really doing. Fun fact, did you know the ISS is traveling at over 17,000 miles per hour? And those astronauts doesn't feel it at all. They can even work on the outside of it and not feel a thing. It works the same way on Earth. We're moving with the Earth just as those astronauts are moving with the ISS. Something to think about. In Flat Earthers' defense, space just may be water. But let me mention this first. The firmament is not a dome. It's a bubble created by the trees, water, and the sun. And it's penetrable. Another name for it is atmosphere. Getting back to space being water, it could just be just the opposite version of it. Look at it as unwet water. The yin to H2O's yang. Think about this, both of them stops oxygen from reaching the lungs. Both of them can put out fire. Both of them you can float in it. The lower you go underwater can crush you, the higher you go into space from what I'm hearing explodes you. They're like total opposites of each other with similarities. Could that be what they mean when the waters were separated by the firmament? Unwet water and wet water divided by the mixture of both? Makes sense to me. Could the firmament be the atmosphere that we breathe? Space, or unwet water, has little to no wet water. The air we breathe has both wet water and unwet water that we call oxygen. And the sea has little to no unwet water, but we know it has unwet water because fish breathe oxygen in waters. I learned the hard way that fish can still suffocate in water. So there's some sort of space in wet water. Hope I didn't confuse you. Flat earthers pose a good point of no matter how high you go, the horizon is always at eye level and flat. You know that works the same way underwater too. Just look up underwater views from submarines, but I guess the ocean floor is flat too. Unless you understand that you live in a simulated reality, you can't really argue with that. But for those that believe we live in a holographic universe, you will understand that the program we live in will always be suited to your line of sight. And until you leave the so-called firmament bubble, you will not see the curve. Maybe this example can help. To most flat earthers, when flying in a plane, as long as you keep going straight, the land goes on forever and flat. But in a simulated environment, you see everything as far as you can see, and every yard you move forward, you gain a yard of new hologram. And behind you, you lose a yard of hologram. That's why it appears that the earth is flat and endless. There are so many videos of rockets that flat earthers claim to hit the dome. The Go Fast rocket breaks the record as the highest and fastest rocket, reaching 73 miles before being stopped by, as flat earthers claim, would be the dome. Stop telling people that. Here's what's wrong with that logic. First, if the rocket hits the dome and the sun and moon, according to the masses, is under the dome, wouldn't people be able to send rockets to the moon if they wanted to? Or at least fly it close enough to the moon to get some great shots? Some flat earthers want to believe so bad that they dismiss everything that makes sense. I mean, if it reaches the dome and the moon is under the dome, what's the problem? Even if the sun and moon was on the inside, that would mean this mysterious Van Allen belt also would be inside. Me personally, I don't think the Van Allen belt exists, just like flat earthers don't believe gravity exists. I never heard of it until after the Mandela effect, but people in the ME community said they have, so I guess I'm alone with that one. So how did that rocket pass the Van Allen belt? And if you think a GoPro camera can survive a Van Allen belt, stick one in the microwave for 10 seconds and tell me what happens. Disclaimer, if you decide to try that, I'm not responsible for damages, so don't do it. You're on your own if you try. Now if you're thinking, wait a minute, maybe the sun and moon is on the outside of the dome, you're only creating more problems. Not to mention killing off all merchandises out there saying otherwise. You know, I'm thinking about creating a flat earth merchandise myself. It's a newly tapped market, and since their numbers are growing, I don't have to believe it to make money off of them. If they blindly follow, why not get paid? You know what that sounds like, right? A religion, a cult, a spell. Spells are real, and if you're not careful, it'll have you believing in stuff like this.
Man of is commanding life. Rise up! Yes. Come on! Come on! Hey! Rising up! Hey! Rising up! Hey! Jesus! Jesus!
Look at this fool, looking around like he never been on Earth before. A fool fooling even bigger fools. But something stopped that rocket. Not to mention that other thing that flew by it was still going. Oh, by the way, the rocket reached 73 miles. The ISS is 240 miles. Did the ISS get a special pass through the dome? I sometimes think, and this is me speaking, I think there's a defense system in place that disables and prevents certain crafts from going too far away from the Earth to get a good look. You know those stars people keep talking about that keeps flashing different colors? I don't remember seeing that many as a kid. All of them are so bright and colorful. All of them have the same intensity. And a few that I see because of light pollution seem to be the same distance from each other. What if those are not real stars at all? Could those be defense satellite grids around the planet? I would not be surprised. It's a thought. Here's the thing with Polaris. I'm going to try to make this as simple as possible. This is our entire solar system in this dot. Polaris is so far away, it doesn't matter where we are in our entire solar system, that star, Polaris, will seem like it's still in the same spot. Not to mention it's moving with us in a galactic spiral. I'm going to end this video with this demonstration. This demonstration will shatter a lot of flat earthers' reality. Flat Earth, dome, planets, not to scale. Let's go ahead and place the sun and moon under there like that. There's plenty of amateur astronomer videos out there of Venus and Mercury transits the sun. The two planets that flat earthers never add in their calculations because the spell they're under is preventing them to see it. Since these planet crosses between us and the sun, that can only mean that they're under the dome as well. Wow, Earth is getting really big really fast. Since these planets never crosses the moon and the Earth, that can only mean that there is a great distance between the moon and the sun for those planets to pass without affecting each other. So the sun is a little bit further than what they think. I'm going to give you an idea just how huge and how far the sun is just by using common sense. There are several ways of measuring the diameter of a planet, and you can look this up on your own. I already did enough work for you. Let's use Venus as an example. Venus is very close to the diameter of the Earth, but since Earth is flat, we can assume that Venus is bigger than the moon. If Venus is bigger than the moon, and going by this, that would make the sun really, really big, wouldn't it? But I'm pretty sure that some of you would say that Venus and Mercury is really, really tiny and they fit under the dome without colliding into each other. According to most flat earthers in some Bibles, the stars are inside the dome. Some say they're in the dome itself. Who really knows? Nobody can seem to stay on the same page. Here's the problem with that. The closest star to us is the Alpha Centauri, which is measured at 4.3 light years away. There are several ways of measuring star distances. One common way is the dimming of starlight when a celestial body like another planet passes it. This is also how they can tell what stars have their own planets. And our furthest planet is Pluto, which is 2.7 billion miles away. According to flat earth logic, that can only mean that all these planets are under the dome, and no meteors can get through because it's impenetrable. This will also mean that the Earth is bigger than our entire solar system combined. Even if those other planets are on the outside of the dome, you can't deny that Venus and Mercury are still inside, which means the Earth is bigger than Mercury, Venus, the Moon, and the Sun combined. Some people got the big head on where we stand in the universe. Final conclusion, this flat Earth is promoted and allowed by the government as another way of group division and destruction of stable relationships. Imagine trying to get into a relationship today. First, your partner has to be the same religion, same views on race, same views on politics, are they Mandela affected or not, same views on LGBT, and now whether or not you're a flathead or a globehead. Wait till they play the alien card. Then we're going to have group division about that. We're never going to get along. Not until we take out these assholes that's pulling the strings, or at least see through the bullshit quick. The quicker we see through it, the longer we can hold them off before total enslavement. Because the route we're on now, enslavement is inevitable within 175 years. I don't tell you things to frighten you. Never let fear control your life. I tell you these things to fight back. Before I go, I have one Mandela effect for you. Who's a fan of Escape from New York? The President's Escape Pod. What color do you remember it being? If you said white, you are correct. To the old memory, this is the new color now. Well, that's all I have. You have flat earth friends? Share this video with them. Let's see how they react. RFG, thank you for the shout out. I really appreciate that. If you haven't already, check out RFG's The Chosen One's channel. If you want deep information about current events, that's the channel to get it. And I can't forget my subscribers. To this day, I still never once said please subscribe to my channel, but you did anyway. You did it because you wanted to, not because I asked you. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And to the ones that comment telling me that they share my videos and tell people about my channel, you know who you are. You are the coolest. Thank you very, very much. And thank you for sharing your time with me.